government officials insist that this...
That BNC Live has been following from the beginning. A father continues his mission to find out what happened to his son.
Daniel Robinson vanished in the Buckeye Desert.
Daniel Robinson went missing in the Buckeye Desert.
Urgent plea from a father who has scoured the vast Arizona desert himself.
4-year-old Daniel Robinson. And this is a very, very odd mystery.
Daniel Robinson disappeared on June 23rd in the far West Valley.
His parents, David and Melissa, need our help.
I'm David Robinson, the father of geologist Daniel Robinson.
His name, Daniel Robinson. And leading the search, not law enforcement, but Daniel's father, David.
God knows how much we can bear, you know? And at times I feel like I can't really take but so much more.
Where is Daniel Robinson?
And, identify they were human leg bones.
But you know what? It's still urgent to me as a father because, we found human remains out here.
David Robinson had only one thought on his mind as he drove the nearly 1,800 miles from his South Carolina home to Phoenix.
I had to find my son. I also want to thank the volunteers that come out here every weekend, volunteering their time. And, without these special people behind me, I wouldn't have a search.
How does a young man vanish off the face of the earth? How does that happen? No record, no sightings, nothing. He's just gone. And when I say a young man, I'm talking about 25-year-old Daniel Robinson. He is the apple of his parents' eye. A young geologist, music lover, good looking, great grades, the works. So why can't we find Daniel? I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. And his dad, David Robinson, is using the GoFundMe money to fund his own investigation and the desperate search for his boy, his son, Daniel Robinson, 25 years old. What happened to him? How did he just disappear? David Robinson, sir, thank you so much for being with us. Tell me when you first realized your son just hadn't called in a couple of days, that he was truly missing.
Yes, my son, on the 23rd, I did get a call from my daughter. She also lives out in Phoenix. And at times I feel like I can't really take but so much more.
But in his weakest times, David says it's the volunteers that provide him strength.
Everybody know that I call them my extended family. And so this visual is the same thing. We all here have one common goal, and that's to find Daniel and also to bring light what happened to other families.
As the Robinsons' extended family light candles tonight, their collective light shines towards that day when their question is answered and Daniel comes home. Josh Sanders, 12 News.
my shelter from the storm. You keep me safe inside your wings. You are my comfort when life gets hard. You lead me to water to drink, and now I trust your gentle hand, even when I can't understand. I know your voice, I'm not afraid, walking with me at the same pace.
When the lights and camera turn off, I will be here. When the interest and conversation fade, I will be here. When there's no one around, a father will do anything it takes to be there for his son, to protect his family.
Daniel Robinson went missing 4 months ago. This is the last photo his family has of him. He's a 24-year-old geologist, last seen leaving his job site in Buckeye, Arizona.
As the Gabby Petito homicide case garners national attention, another young person has been missing for nearly 3 months, and his family is desperate to find him. 24-year-old Daniel Robinson, a geologist, was last seen on the morning of June 23rd, leaving his work site in the desert of Buckeye, Arizona.
David Robinson had only one thought on his mind as he drove the nearly 1,800 miles from his South Carolina home to Phoenix.
I had to find my son.
Thank you, guys, and I'm still searching for him. Thank you, guys, for coming in this evening's Q&A. I'm David Robinson. I'm the father of geologist Daniel Robinson. Daniel, graduate of College of Charleston. As you guys know, we're from South Carolina. My son, after graduation, decided to come out to Arizona to start his career. He moved here in Phoenix, Arizona, where he started with a company called Matrix New World, an engineering company. Called Matrix New World, also is called Matrix Southwest Groundwater. They hired him on as a field geologist. It's also called a hydrogeologist. My son's job is to go out to various well sites all over this state, in the remote parts of the desert at times, to assess wells, to get the viability of those wells. Of course, like I said, my son from that point, being in Phoenix resident, moved to Tempe. He then later moved to Tempe, Arizona, where he decided to be there as a better side of town. He really enjoyed that side of town, and he went there. But at the same time, he continued his job, working very hard, being a very responsible young man, and like I said, being very responsible in doing his job as a geologist, expanding his horizons and his career in geology. Again, his job is very important. You guys, for communities that are built here in Arizona, by law, Arizona communities have to have at least 2 well sites, depending on that community. But those well sites definitely have to produce at least 100 years of water. His job is very valuable to determine that, as well as if the water is drinkable. Those waters are tested and labs and things like that to see if it's any contaminants and things like that in that water as well, as you guys know. On June 23rd, my son got his assignments like he always do. He get on his work laptop. He's a field geologist, so he don't have to go inside the company. He don't have to talk to his coworkers outside of emails and things like that. But he definitely went out to supposedly had got assigned to 2 well sites on that day, June 23rd last year, 2021. And he made it to the first well site according to his job. He took some work logs, pictures and things like that. According to a worker from the company called Weber named Ken, my son was to meet him according to his job as well, off of Sun Valley Parkway and Cactus Road, as you guys know. My son, according to that worker, Ken, met him out there on the side of the road of Sun Valley Parkway, the entranceway, to get to this well. They traveled 1 mile west and 2 miles north to get to the well site where they was working on. According to this worker, they arrived there around 9. My son and Ken got there around 9 o'clock that morning, and my son was gone before about 9:15. They had a brief conversation that lasted a little over 10 minutes, according to that worker as well, about the weather. My son wanted to go home to rest, that type deal. Close it off, close the well site down for that day. But he resisted, said that he wanted to wait till a sail pass or something or the other. And he said my son waved at him after he did some assessments of my son's eyes. I don't know what it's all about the eyes things, but he did assessment of my son's eyes and had a conversation with my son, waved off to him, and to never ever be seen again. As you guys know, my son's vehicle right here behind me in this picture, been found almost 30 days later, farther out into that Sonoran desert, a little around 3 miles away, farther into that desert. It was found in a 20-foot ravine. It was on the side, tipped on the side, and everything that would appear to be of my son's clothing was 3 feet away from the vehicle in a pile. One boot was on the one side of the vehicle, the other side, one vehicle was tucked in the front part of the vehicle. According to the Buckeye Police Department, who came out to the scene after a rancher who found the vehicle there had called them. Of course, the first thing the Buckeye Police Department did, according to this rancher, is alerted that worker not to tell the public, the media, and don't tell the family that the vehicle was found. So they said they did this over 20 some hours of searching for Daniel. According to the Buckeye Police Department, they utilized the Phoenix Firebird, again, the helicopter, as well as Maricopa County Sheriff Office was part of the search. Of course, they used the Maricopa County dogs, according to the Buckeye Police Department, and as well as, like I say, low-flying helicopters where they're so low. The guy said, he said you can put your hand in the air and touch the bottom of the helicopter that's flying so low, look for Daniel. They utilized several cadaver dogs, you name it, but they came up empty. They didn't find any tracks or anything that say, hey, you left the scene. The other part is, according to the Buckeye Police Department, they felt that he had a severe head injury. You guys, I moved to the side here. He had a severe head injury. I had to reorient myself, but it's a severe head injury, and he crawled out the sunroof. He kicked the sunroof out. They said that's why the glass was there. Without doing homework, they said that's why the glass was on the ground. We later know from my investigator that vehicle don't come with a sunroof glass, but nevertheless, he kicked his way out of the sunroof, according to the Buckeye Police Department. But before then, they say he didn't sustain any injuries because they didn't see in the blood with their eyes, seeing the blood in the vehicle, as well as they said he had the seatbelt on because of the way they knew, because of the way the seatbelt locked after an accident. They believe that he got out the vehicle, of course, because of this head injury. It causes you feel like you're hot, and it caused him to shred his clothes off. That's the explanation of the clothes being on the ground. He shred his clothes off and probably wandered off to cool off under a tree somewhere where he succumbed to his injuries, and some wild animal got him. Their second assessment was that maybe from one of the detectives is that maybe he wanted to be away from his family. He suggested that maybe Daniel wanted to be away from his family and join a monastery, become a monk. So those are the assessment of the Buckeye Police Department. And from there, you guys, I've been out here since June 26th. The first thing I did was I was really happy to hear that they say they finally, after almost 3 days, putting a Phoenix Firebird in the air to go search for my son. Of course, that search, they say it came up empty, and with the helicopter. Then, of course, I've been working with the Buckeye Police Department at the beginning, trying to get all the information I can. My daughter and I was constantly constantly keeping in contact with them at the time, trying to get them all the information that we can give them, as well as receiving information. You guys know, as being a father, the first thing I'm doing is trying to get information myself for my family to make sure that we find out ourselves what happened to Daniel as well. But just one-off, say hey, just give them the information. We're not receiving anything as well. We definitely be asking for things like cell phone pings, the obvious, the type things that you asked for at the beginning. Of course, the Buckeye Police Department resisted that as well, saying that they would not, without even trying, would not be able to get a warrant to try to get cell phone pings. First they told us they would get it, and then the same way they did the cancellation of the flight when I asked them to go out first to search for my son, they unauthorized it. The higher up said they wouldn't be able to get a warrant. The judge wouldn't give them a warrant if they tried to apply for one. So the other party was asked for any kind of footage with my son driving to this location. We all know if we was to break the law and somebody rob a bank, and they can track them all down to his front door, utilizing cameras. And according to the Buckeye Police Department, there was no cameras footage nowhere in Arizona that could show my son ever driving in Arizona. But they did find one footage of his vehicle on a highway in California, ironically. And that was a month before my son went missing. So we got frustrated with that. The next obvious, of course, was we thought it was a OnStar in this vehicle, but then it turned out to be a Uconnect that we brought the information to the Buckeye Police Department and have them to try to look into that. They came back and said they couldn't. First, they told us they couldn't get anything from the Uconnect. Then they later said because they said Uconnect said the battery was taken loose. Somebody tampered with the battery. That's because it's malfunctioning or whatever the case may be. And then they finally came back and say, yeah, they got contact Uconnect, and they said it came up with all 0 grids or whatever. They couldn't get information from that. So everything attempt we tried with the Buckeye Police Department failed to get information that was available. That is available. Cell phone pings is still available to find out what happened exactly happened to my son on that day, where he was located and things like that. So, of course, I'm still fighting you guys. It's been over a year and 4 months today. That's why I wanted to put us up here as well. There's not a year and 4 months to date, but on the 23rd it would be a year and 4 months, and that's why I have this fast and prayer for Daniel. It's always the Wednesday close to the 23rd. Some people call it an anniversary, but definitely it's fast and prayer for Daniel, but it's also for other families. Daniel is just he's America's son, and I just want to make sure that we're doing everything we can on my part as a father who's out here looking for Daniel. To be able to help other families as well. So it's not unique to my family that we have a missing loved one. Daniel is just one of the many. And so, just, like I said, just because I say fast and prayer for Daniel, this channel is dedicated to my son. But like I said, I also help other families as well, much as I can. And you guys, I do this fast and prayer. I did start it off this morning with a prayer. You all who've been here this morning, know that I started off with a prayer this morning, and I will be ending it today with a prayer. So you guys who have been joining in with the fast and prayer today, I really thank you, first of all, for doing that. It's very, very important. Outside of searching physically for Daniel, outside of trying to fight for justice for Daniel, all of that stuff, you still had to come down to prayer. You still have to go to a higher power, whatever your higher power is. And my higher power, I know who my higher power is, and I pray and I believe in prayer. I believe in fasting, and those things are very key to a lot of things. It's key to your own well-being as well, spiritually, your own spiritual well-being, as well as keeping your communication with God. So definitely want to do that. And we know this prayer is for intercessions for other families, intercessions for my family, putting in the requests and things like that. So if you guys can join in with me, I will end this part of the fast and prayer. You can join in with me in prayer. Then from that point, I will be going to a little area of the Q&A that I want to get into. And I want to talk about this whole thing with the Got the Will. That'll be my kind of subject a little bit today. Also, I'll be answering some of your questions. So you guys have any questions, please be prepared for that. Go down the comment section. If you can, just put the word question there before your question, the question mark, or a capital letter Q, something like that. That would definitely help me see your questions that are coming down. I just want to, first of all, again, say thank you guys for joining in on this Q&A. Don't forget to hit that that like, share, subscribe button. If you're new here, you're just passing by, hit that like, share, subscribe button. That really helps you guys to keep the algorithms going, keep this channel going. The whole name of the game is to try to get this channel out far as I can, because it's very important. It's very important to get that this channel out as far as I can, because that way I get Daniel's story out as far as I can. That way I'll be able to get other people's story out as far as I can. So your help is very appreciated. If you guys can, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button before you leave. Just that. Just definitely need your numbers. So thank you for that as well. Tip line is right there, scroll on the bottom of the screen for those who have information to bring my son home. Please utilize that tip line. It's been over a year, like I said, going to 4 months. If you guys can please help bring some closures to my family and myself to get answers. Okay. All right. But I want to pray real quick. Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, for another day of fasting and prayer. You brought us together in unity. With unity comes strength. We come, Lord, and petition you, Lord, to bless, Lord. Bless me to put myself in the right places in the right time to get the answers I need. You know the time and that I need to get these answers, and you put me in closer and closer, and I really appreciate that. I'm really grateful for being able to see the light in the other tunnel, being able to help other families as well along with this journey to find my son. I thank you, Heavenly Father, for all the people who join in with me, who have been given support, who have been praying with me, who have been out there in the desert with me, searching for Daniel, putting in long hours, spending their money and their time, and pulling their heart out to my family. I really want you guys to bless my family as well. Daniel's mother, his siblings, Daniel's grandparents, as well as my aunties and uncles, his friends. Just bless them as well, comfort their hearts and their mind. Also, we want to pray for other families. Same, Lord, bless their hearts, bless their mind, comfort them as well. Give them the idea where to look to find their loved one, to bring some closures back to themselves as well. We all are looking for closures. We ask you, Heavenly Father, to bring those closures. We thank you for that. Bless those who are listening right now, and those families, like I said, who don't have a voice that we don't even know of. They stand in need. We ask you, Heavenly Father, to bless them accordingly. Thank God for all things. Amen. All right. And so thank you guys for joining in the prayer with me, and also joining in with the fast and prayer part of the Q&A of the Wednesday. That's closer to the 23rd of each month. So again, I believe prayer is a powerful key. I believe in faith. Faith is action. It's an action word, just like love. Love is an action word. You show it, you give it, you put action to it. So definitely have my faith, and really, and like I said, my love is to try to help other families as well. But my faith is definitely that I will be finding my son. I'm not out here in vain. I'm going to do everything I can to really push to find Daniel and get those answers that get closer to more answers. I have answers now that I definitely can't put out in public that much, but I definitely want to get the closures on those answers, so I'll be able to bring my son back home. So you guys pray with me. Continue to pray for those families as well, like I said. And thank you so much again for taking time out to do the fast and prayer with me. Even if it's just a prayer, I really thank you guys for always praying and always supporting. That really means a lot. So thanks so much. Again, I will be talking about, let me go down the comment section a little bit to say thank you to you guys for coming out. I did see my super chat. I really appreciate you guys. I'm going to put this up right here, right now. Thanks so much for that. Nissa, thank you so much again. I really appreciate it from this morning as well. Thank you. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. God bless you. Thank you. That's really nice, and you're very, very kind of you. Supporting you guys. You guys, like I said, just like Nissa here, you guys have been keeping me here in Arizona. You have been keeping my boots on the ground, keeping me here in the fight. Being able to provide the money that I needed at times when I was out in the desert, as well as the times, like I said, trying to get those flyer distributions out to everything else I'm doing to be able to fight for Daniel. So all of that is important. Everything you guys do is important. I really appreciate that. Whether it's your time and your efforts as well. Signing that petition on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. There's a lot of things. You guys, by the way, if you want to go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com, lot of ways you can support there. If you guys come tomorrow, for instance, on the my ambassador program meeting, Zoom meeting at 5 o'clock tomorrow here, Arizona time, 8 p.m. on East Coast time. You guys come tomorrow, you could definitely help me that way as well. There's a lot of things, a lot of efforts to find Daniel. So I need people, and you have been showing up from day one. I really appreciate it. So thank you again, Nissa, so much. God bless you. I really appreciate that. Okay, again, you guys, if you have any questions for me, please, when I come down to the comment section, I'm looking for things like say the question marks, the capital letter Q, the word question before your question, then I can see it as I come down. Thank you, Crenshaw, for being here this morning, this afternoon, this evening, Q&A as well as Dr. Finn. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for the music, the like on that. Yes, thanks so much for that as well. Chrisetta, thank you so much for being here as well. KB, thank you for your prayers as well. I really appreciate you being here. And also Jessica G, thank you for the blessings as well. Thank you for being here. Valerie, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it from the Facebook side of things. And you're in Canada, so I really appreciate that as well. Again, I want to stop right here, and I'm going to put a little star here and stop right here for a moment. And I'll just come back here, and I'll start from this point. What I want to do is go ahead and jump into some of the things I want to show you guys on screen here. I will be sharing screen. I want to talk about some things. Talk about this timeline. I really want to talk about this timeline, you guys, and why it's important when that's a person, the last person that actually saw a person. Those stories should be the first thing law enforcement should be really looking into, right? It shouldn't be like Shiro Nation said as well on her video I showed y'all this morning, that it become a gospel. Somebody tell you this is what they side of the story. Hey, this is what happened, and you don't really look into it. Like I told you guys before, I have not heard or have any evidence to show that, or even hear Buckeye even say they ever brought somebody into their department. It's not in their report or anything they haven't. It's the only thing they'll tell you, we spoke to this person, or we revisit this person, or whatever the case may be. They take these stories without vetting it, without really digging deep into it. Because sometimes, one thing for sure, anytime you can use the common sense on a lot of stuff. Like, for instance, like we know that, and I want to show y'all this. Let me put this up here real quick. Let me see if I can get a screen share here. And I just want to show y'all something real quick too. Let me see if I can get this over here. And sometimes you listen to what they say to you. You got to always pay attention to what people say, and it don't make it's not common sense. So if it's not common sense, it's not common sense. So I just want to put this up real quick. And I said it this morning. Hope that share screen come up. Yeah, there we go. All right. Let's see if I can get all that off of there. See if I can get this full screen. That's it. Okay, there we go. Now, what I was saying here, if you guys look at this boot was up under the vehicle, the front end of it, that's what it is. The guy saying it's kind of snagged up under there. But one of the biggest things as well, you look up here in this part here, that panel, that's a roof panel that came off up here, right here, you guys, and that's a locking mechanism. I thought I saw it on the ground here. There's another pictures of. But anyway, it's a locking mechanism where this panel it sits down in the vehicle, and you have to use an actual key to get this out of this. Both of these panels can come off, but you need a key to unlock it, right? Unless Daniel was crawling in the back of the vehicle and use a key to push that, get that door panel out. I mean, that window, that panel out of there. That's ridiculous to me. But anyway, there's a key to it to get it out. He uses superhuman strength to do that, but at the same time, he lifted the vehicle up and slid the panel, the roof panel, under the vehicle. This is enlarged under the vehicle. Let me see if I can get a better shot of that. I thought I had a better shot of this. Yeah, here we go. It's enlarged up under the vehicle. Now, of course, you're gonna see this rock here, for instance, the damage as the vehicle was. It's no doubt the vehicle was pushed down this hill. No doubt it did crash down this hill. That's the second crash, of course, or whatever, second, third, whatever the case may be. But it did get rolled down this hill and landed on the side. But you got to think about all this stuff here. Daniel's not going to put the roof panel up under the car as well, and all that kind of stuff in the shoes and things like that. So it's a lot of things that's not really consistent to whatever they come up with, and why his boot was stuck up under the vehicle, and and that kind of deal. Unless the boot was off before and all this kind of stuff, and the window ledge was already open or whatever the case may be. I'm showing this other stuff. I want to show y'all this too. But this is on the glass that was out on the top of the vehicle. I told you guys before is the driver's window. If you look inside the vehicle, you got little to no window glass in the vehicle at all. Like very small, minute. Other part is you can see the window impressions here that my investigators really concerned about. Something bashing here. You probably can't really see it, but it's bashing here that damaged this area here. Also damaged that area there. Those are some of the things that was probably done before they crashed down in this ravine. Other part is they would have you to believe that, like I said, just imagine if you did roll and whatever the case may be. Let's pretend that happened there. And they want you to believe there's 46 initial cycles, right? Vehicle been cranked up 46 times. It may not turned over and actually cut on, but it's trying for 46 times. Was done while the vehicle was sitting right there on the side like that. That was the first initial crash. They claimed that was the only crash. And so Daniel's sitting in his vehicle in his seatbelt without falling over and got his foot on the brake pedal just to try to crank the vehicle up. Like they want you to believe that as well. So, there's so much things that I think about that when I see that. But I just wanted to show you guys that as well. For now, I'm going to go back to some of those pictures as well. But I just want to talk about the timeline real quick. And one of the things was, of course, I have written down here, of course, I had to keep that going. But anyway, the first thing is that was a couple of things. Let me see what I have it here. I'll start off. That was a missed call, of course, and I'm going to start off from the significant thing. Daniel was at his first well site, you guys. I really wish I had I think I thought I had it here one time ago, the slides, so you guys can see this timeline as I'm talking about it. Let me see here if I got it here, but I don't have it available. But I'll talk you through it. He got a missed call, you guys, at 7:31 a.m. Daniel received a missed call from Ken, the guy that was waiting on him at the well site. Like I told you guys, he was at the first well site, and his job is to go to the second well site. First call came from Ken at 7:31, and then Ken also left a voicemail, right? 7:31. Daniel missed the call. So, of course, I don't know if you checked the voicemail, but I don't see anything saying he checked the voicemail. But then Daniel called Ken back couple minutes right after. So like I'm saying, there wasn't no check the voicemail. It was more so seemed like he just called right back because he missed the call. Daniel probably was unaware that he got the voicemail. So because it was at 7:34 that he called back to Ken. Then he got a missed call from Steve. Steve is one of the guys from Matrix New World, and he tried to call at 8:33 a.m. Okay, Daniel missed that call, but then Daniel called him back at 8:35. So it was almost like 2 minutes after he get a call from people, he call him back. And then Ken called Daniel again at 8:08 a.m. Right? No voicemail, no nothing from that point. I can't tell you guys that. Then Daniel texts Ken at 8, like 2 minutes right after that. Text him, and that text message I can tell you guys was asking for directions. You're like, hey, how'd you get to the location? So Daniel didn't have any clue how to get there at 10, at least at about 8:10. He didn't talk to anybody else. He didn't call nobody else from that, but he did call Ken again at 8:13 because he didn't get a response. I can tell you there wasn't no response for that text message. Hey, this is how you get to this location. So he didn't get a response. At 8:13, he ended up making a call to Ken again. And then Daniel called Ken at 9:28. Now, according to Ken, after Daniel made that phone call at 8:13 a.m., according to Ken, they met each other already at 9 o'clock and at that well site. They made it to the well site at 9 o'clock. And from that point, they had a little 10 to 15 minutes conversation. And Daniel was gone at 9:15. He was out of there. According to his phone record, though, Daniel called again. Now, mind you, he didn't, on Daniel's behalf, he called, he left a text message at 8:10, like I said, a.m. Then he called him at 8:13, I'm sure, to try to get the answers to where this location is, 8:13. And then he called again at 9:28 after Ken said he was long gone to never ever be seen again, right? So, of course, he later changed his story with a different officer and put it at 9:30 that they met at the well site. So, of course, that was the first change of the story. The other thing is he got a missed call from Steve again. around 10 o'clock. That was one of Steve is a guy from Matrix New World as well. One of his workers there at the job site at the company. Not job site, but at the company. Then he got a text from Kevin as well. Again, Matrix New World. And that text message was pretty much asking him at 10:44, was everything okay? All right. And then from there, he been getting missed calls from there from his company. So a couple people from the company, Roger, one of his friends, not just a worker at the company for Matrix, but also a personal friend of his off the job. So it's pretty much those kind of things before we have gotten alert as a family later that evening. Of course, we're gonna be calling as a family. So a lot of that stuff I want to say. And then the last thing is on the 23rd. The last call that Ken made was late that evening. So to Daniel. So that was late that evening, probably as roughly I saw here, it was at 3, I think it was like 3:23, somewhere around there. He got a missed call from Ken. And that's what it is, at 3:23 p.m. That's when he decided to call again. So I was thinking a person was feeling that concern, they would have been calling to check. But anyway, but it was at later that evening. So I just want to put that out there on the timeline wise. And then also I want to talk about some of the things that I've seen. Let's see if I can get this going down here from the scene. I'm going to put something else here. I want to share a screen with you guys. Let's see if I can get it back. I think I messed some of that up. But anyway, just wanted to put some of that stuff out there for you guys to see. But I want to talk about this well site, as well as I'll have some video footage that I want to share with you guys. I think I messed that up. Okay, I got it here. Some video footage that I'm going to play a little part of what I got here, and then I'm going to go to this well site. And I'm telling you the reason why I'm really feel like I've been misled a long time, and I put it out in the public. When I did my first, give you a little background. When I did my first search, the very first search, I will put this on the screen. I'll talk to you guys as I'm talking about, so you can kind of get a reference to what I'm talking about, what the gate looked like, so you guys can actually see that. But when I first did my first well, so I'm gonna put on the side of me here. If it goes, let's see if I can get myself in the screen as well. All right, good. This is the gate. This is the gate here of Sun Valley Parkway where Ken met Daniel at the gate. And you see the sign, Search for Daniel. That's part of my sign I use for the volunteers that come out in the desert searches with me. They can come off the road and know where the gate to come in and things like that. So that's the bullet, what I put up there on the fence every search. But the thing is, right here at this gate, I used to come to Sun Valley Parkway, and I used to look out there at that mountain out there you guys see in the background with my binoculars from the side of the road, taking Buckeye, Arizona's advice not to go out there in that desert. I had a low-riding vehicle. They told me the terrain is very deceiving. Being a veteran of Afghanistan, I understand the desert. I just don't understand this desert. I saw a lot of vegetation there. Afghanistan, it looks totally different. So you can pretty much see far from what you get ready to get into. So I took the advice, to make a long story. And I stayed outside that gate almost every day out there, looking out there in the desert with binoculars from this gate. And one of the things about this whole matter, I finally got my searches going. Finally got the opportunity to go through this gate right here that I'm about to show you guys. Finally got the opportunity to come through this gate for the first time. And you guys almost imagine the first thing I wanted to do is go to this well site. I wanted to see this well site. I want to know where it's located. And so the only person I can rely on at the time was Daniel's boss. He came out to assist that morning at first well site, first search, I'm sorry. And he's going to show me where the well site was located. He said he had a pretty much idea where it's at. He told me he claimed him and one of the other workers being there before. And so once we got past this gate here, he was lost. He got me lost. We were lost. We ended up in the place where this corral. He said, "Hey, this is the well site." And we got the vehicle. It was actually a corral there. No well in sight. It's a corral. So he didn't know where it was at. But then we went further up. He said, "Oh, maybe a little further up." We made another little turn, and then we saw a well sitting there. And he says, "This is the well site." So the thing is, what I'm saying is, because he said that, the whole entire time I'm saying, "Hey, look, this is the well site. This is the well site." We all been doing all the searches based on that well site. But hindsight, when I look at everything, the story that was given about the Ken and also by Mason's New World, you go to get to this well site, you had to go 1 mile west, and then you had to go 2 miles north. And you guys, like I said, unlike the Buckeye Police Department, in my opinion, I don't know what they've done, but what, in my opinion, what they haven't done, what they showed me they haven't done, they didn't vet the story. I have never ever seen them or even heard of them writing the story out or tracking what the story is. This guy said that you go 1 mile west and you go 2 miles north to get to this well site. He telling you where this well site is located. So when I did my due diligence, this video is coming from one of my searches. You know, saying, look, sometimes when the volunteers lead the search, I know it's not safe because I don't like being in the desert by myself, but sometimes I have to do that to do an investigation. That's just me as a father doing my own investigation. And so I stayed out there. So this video I'll give it to show you guys again. Some of you have seen before is a video I have done after the volunteers left, so I can go and see if this vet his story. I'm not going to call the man a liar. I just want to see if I can believe his story or not, if it makes sense. So of course I have to go and vet the story. And when I vet the story, there was a lot of problems with that. I found out later by vetting the story that the 2 miles that he was talking about will lead me to the second well site. The same well site, you guys, I've been showing you the video footage of things that's in this well that shouldn't be there. I didn't really get the pictures. I thought I could pull these pictures up. I have taken the last time I was in the desert out there, and I wanted to show you guys this evening. I will probably do it on the next Q&A. Show you more pictures of the well itself and show you the items that was taken from the outside of this well that's in that well now. And this is, I really believe strongly, just by his testimony only, that 1 mile west, 2 miles north will lead you to this other well site. Not the one we've been claiming all the time, but the one that has those debris and things in there. So that's one of the things you got to look at as well. I want to try to see if the media can catch on to this, try to get more efforts into that, looking into this well, because it's very suspicious. Of course, it's a private well, and try to get those items. And notice the crazy part about it. I want some of those items, try to get those items out of there so we can see what's on the bottom, get those things recovered out the bottom and make sure that's not a human skull that we see on the bottom and things like that. I checked into that. And the only company that can do that in this area is Weber, the same company that the guy worked for, that his company. They're the only one they were called to say, hey, can you get debris out of this well? My opinion, I'm not accusing about anything. I said this before. If you can get something, if you got the technology or equipment to get things out of a well like that, heavy things like that out of a well, who's to say you can't put something in that well? So I kind of look at things in that term. So, but the thing is, I will show y'all this video for a while. I'm trying to fast forward a little bit so I can talk about this well. I'm gonna go show you inside the well again. We'll go back through that and show you those things that's outside the well from the distance. Since I don't have those close pictures with me at this time, I will have it on the next Q&A, and I'll do this over again. And then you can see the same things that was on the outside is on the inside of that well. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and start to play this now, and we go from top end. I'll be talking as we go. Okay, this is Dave Robinson. I'm getting ready to do a run through of everything that was told to me about my son when he went missing. Okay, you guys have to try this again. Let me see if I can get the screen share going again. This road was called the road to nowhere. You probably could tell why. Other than okay, see if I can get it going again. Okay, this is Dave Robinson. I'm getting ready to do a run through of everything that was told to me about my son when he went missing. Walkway here. This is the road. One time ago, this road was called the road to nowhere. You probably could tell why. Other than they put a community down on both ends. But this is a gate right here. This is where we have our searches. I have that sign there. I'm going to take that down once I'm done here today. This is where we come in. That's the Cactus Road sign there on the road there. We use that as a landmark, but actually we come in this gate here. So this is the gate here. But anyway, my son came here, supposedly. This is a story. He met the gentleman here. The only guy that seen my son last at the well site, he met him here at this gate. Story was, the gentleman came from that road there, met my son right here where this truck, this U-Haul truck is. met him out here on the road. And like I said, they had a little conversation, but I was told from that point, my son got back in his vehicle, his Jeep Renegade. See if I can do this right. He followed the guy down into the well site, and this is how we do it. Oh, I dropped the phone. This is how we do it. It's gonna be a long video. Taking my ride down here, but I'm trying to drive fast as I can. Not too fast. It's loose. You know, we do a lot of traveling through here, so the dirt is really dry and loose. But I can tell you can see right here, you probably can't see it from the camera screen, but there's a lot of tracks here. There's tracks that we did. A lot of people do come down here now, especially we do our searches and things like that. So y'all's gonna have tracks, right? We didn't come down this far today because we stopped about here because we did our we stopped at the gate where we had our meetup at, and then we went back on the main road and went up north to do our line searches. So we definitely went down here, but you can see all these tracks on the ground right here. These tracks been here for years. I mean, not years, for months. I'll take that back. I want to say years. They've been here for months. You can even see the ones right there on the shoulder, right? You can mind you, these tracks didn't happen. They always here. You can see, if you look real good, you can see a track leading off over there. These tracks been here for months. Every time I come down here, you're always gonna see tracks on this road, right? Whether it rain or whether it don't rain. Even after the rain, you're always gonna have these tracks on the road. So you know where I'm going to. I can't tell you over here to the right here, it's a new well site they putting in. All that wasn't there. They just really starting this new well site there. They already had put one previously. There's another one real close. They're out there now working, but they did one closer to here. I'll come up to it shortly. But this is the road. You supposed to travel like a mile down here west. What I'm doing is going west right now, down this road here. All right, into the desert. We're going farther and farther into the desert. So, again, I am doing the storyline of what the guy at the well told me, not what he told Buckeye. You know, what he told me with the two witnesses I had. So my son followed him down here, so I'm planning to roll up my son. So I'll be planning to roll up my son, and I will be going down here where I think it happened, exactly how he told me. All right, but I'm gonna point out some things as I'm going, like this right here, this area over here. If I can see it, that's the new well site they're putting in. That's the first one they did recently, and the one I showed you a while ago, that's the second one they're doing on now. But this is that's a well site that they just completed. But anyway, we're going to the well site where my son was supposedly last seen. Now, mind you, if you look at the road as I'm traveling, you see all these tracks. We did not make these today. These tracks been out for weeks. So we got some bovines out here, so you're gonna see some cattle. I saw them when I was coming up. Bighorn cattle, they out here in the field. One right here on the shoulder of the road. Got like a whole herd of them to my left there, but this is one I got to watch out for them because they will attack and tear up your vehicle. So he's really nervous right now. I'm not gonna mess with the big fella. But anyway, he's probably wondering what I'm doing. But they got him out here, so we have to be careful with that. I tell the volunteers we're out here searching. We stay out of their way, they definitely stay out of ours. They try to get away. The volunteers and myself, I haven't seen none in a while. But anyway, what I did is turn left. What I meant to say, I just turned off to the right. I meant to say I turned off to the right, and this is that was a mile down, and I just turned to the right. I kind of missed where that cattle was sitting on that corner. I just turned to the right, and now I'm going up towards the north, up towards the well site, right? And it's supposed to be 2 miles from that point up here. Now, I should have looked at the mileage right here. This is the mileage I got here where I'm at now. And then I'm gonna put the mileage down when I get to this well site. See if that's 2 miles, right? So it's a little ways up. It's up and down, so you can see this camera bouncing all over the place. But I'm trying to do my best. I don't like to be out here in this desert by myself. You know, a few people know I'm out here. You know, my search coordinator, logistics coordinator know I'm out here. One of the volunteers know I'm not, 2 of the volunteers know I'm out here. But you know, like I said, I'm not really comfortable being out here by myself in this desert. This is where my son went missing. A lot of other people been found out here, so I'd always protect myself at all times. But I do want to let y'all see the story line. Now, this is the road. You see how tight this road is, so I want to keep that in mind. This is a really tight road. A vehicle come the other direction, it would be very hard for that vehicle to pass. I literally have to get on the shoulder to, you know, let that vehicle pass. Anyway, we're going up. All right. We're almost there. I see the little tank that they use. That tank, mind you, the tank wasn't there. All the stuff wasn't this big. This clearing that I'm driving up now, it wasn't this wide because, you know, we traveled it so much in the past. Of course, the dirt, the road get more defined and, you know, the vegetation's not there, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, so anyway, this is the tunnel. When I get to this point, this is where it stops. I'm gonna look at the mileage now, so I can look back at it later. And then when you do it, it's turn left. Then you got to turn left, right? To get to this well site. So now we turn it left. Okay, I just wanted to pause right there. And I'm pausing right here, you guys, is because I wanted to point out something real quick that I probably didn't point out in this video. It started off, the mileage at the beginning was pretty much 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, right? And then when I turned this corner going to this well, you can probably see it ahead of the video here. Is right at let's see what I got here. 1, 2, 3, 3, 5. That's only 1 mile. To get another mile, you have to go north, further north to get to the second well site. Like I tell you guys, from this point, from that point right there, before I make this turn, if you go up another mile, that's the second mile to that second well site. So I wanted to point that out real quick. But I'm gonna let you guys see this well site a little bit here, and then I'll probably speed it up a little bit and show you what I'm talking about once we get to the second well site. All right, this is the well site. Right now, only problem is all this right here, this clearing, it wasn't like this. All this brush like you see on the side, that was real close to the well site. But this is the well, right? They say my son was last seen that. They didn't have this tank here. The tank wasn't there. And that's why they cleared this area, because they was bringing this tank in. Because they pull water out this well now. That's why they got this machine on. But anyway, this is the tank. But he said my son was here at this well site. And his story is that they had a brief conversation at this well site, roughly 10 minutes. My son was staring off into the desert. Now you see all this brush, and I'm gonna tell you, now, like I told you, all the stuff that you see right there, all this clearing wasn't here. It was really close to this well site. They just cleared this area. But if you look at this in the summertime, it's green, and if he say he was staring off into the desert, where he was staring off to? Bushes? Why would I be just staring off looking at the bushes or whatever? So I don't know. Okay, let's go with that. Then he said my son drove off from this well site, waved and drove off. Now he's still at the well site, so he can see my son driving off until he gets up here this road where we're about to turn. Once we turn, he don't see my son no more, because you can see how this terrain made. So all he can see is my son traveling up here, right? But what I was going to say to you before I start, let's say my son went ahead and left and he couldn't see him till he got to the turn up here, this turn. But he said after a while he would go search for my son. Now you see this ground right here, how wide it is. Of course, now he stayed left of the tracks. Let's pretend that all these tracks you see on the ground is not there. And I need to get out the car so you can see how many tracks it is, because there's a lot of cars. And these tracks are from the many times that people like myself and volunteers came out here for months. These tracks are still here even after the rains that we had here. So he had to literally see all these tracks, none of them been washed away. This is not coming from the U-Haul truck that I just drove. These are tracks that come from months of driving down this terrain, right? And I'm gonna continue to do that also off and on. Let's see here. Anyway, now we get to this T-junction here. Now this is a different T-junction. This T-junction is where you can go up here north. I want to pause right here as well, you guys. Again, just kind of put some illustration there. Where I'm gonna have the camera pointing, that is going north. And so what I'm gonna do, what I did from this video is I went back south again to try to do this recording. But like I said, the mileage from that turn, that first turn when I got that 1 mile west, and then make that right turn, it was at the mileage is at 12334. And at this point right here where I'm pointing back up north is 12335 is only 1 mile, right? But if I was to drive from this point up to the next well site, which I'm gonna try to put this camera ahead, this video ahead, you will see that it's been, like I said, a mile, another mile from this point up to the next well site. So that would put it at 2 miles. So I think what happened is the boss man of Daniel just didn't know the hell he was talking about. First of all, let me think that was the whole entire time was the well where Daniel was and this guy was located, but in turn is actually the second well site. So definitely need to look into that one as well. He said all this. He kept going. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can get this up here to this point, you guys, because I started back over, so you probably see me kind of fast forwarding. And what I'm trying to do is get back up to. And this is a gate. This is a gate. I can take you guys through that as well. But this is going back up to the second well site. I'm trying to get up here, and for lack of time, and we'll go back over another day. But I just want to make sure I get this in, so you guys can have an idea of how the other well site looks. All right. So let me see if I can get it at the right place here. I think I'm about right here. So I'm gonna go about what people give me story-wise. I came on here from Arizona, from South Carolina. And the only thing I can do is go by what people told me what happened to my son. You know, the storyline. All right, this is right here, the T Johnson right here that goes. So look at all these tracks. If you look straight ahead, all those tracks on the ground still. I hope for the smoke get there. All those tracks never been washed away. I haven't been up that way yet. And this is where the tracks that leads to, and they on the ground here. None of them been washed away. All these tracks been here for months. But that's to the well site. If I go there, we'll go back to well site. But here's the mileage. Now we're at 12340, right? That don't seem right, but anyway, something weird about that. But anyway, seems like it stayed the same. Oh, it just turned 41. Okay. All right. Now I'm going straight because if you left that well site where Dan was last seen, and you come up this way, it's only about a quarter of a mile north. Right, we're still going north. But you see, yeah, I can say, hey, I want to say left some tracks on this road. It's impossible. Look at all these tracks on this road. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's a lot of tracks on the ground from vehicles coming up this way. All right, that's why I know a lot of people do come in here, and that's why I say I'm not the only one to be out here in this desert. So, you know, you have to be careful out here. You don't know who's out here and what they're doing. But I'm here. Came up, now I'm up to this other well site. Oh man, this is bumpy. All right, this is coming up to the other well site. Now I want to get the mileage to this one. Let's see what the mileage is. All right, this other well site that I had checked, the one that got the little debris on the bottom. Okay, everybody. Okay, here we go again. I just wanted to pause it here because, like I said, from lack of, well, matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and put you on the full screen here. For lack of the pictures that I really wanted to show you guys today, and I will have those on the next Q&A when I talk about this again. I'll be doing the same run through. These pipe areas, you see the little pipes here. There's pipes here. There's a whole row of them. They lined up here. They all lined up. But the one that's closer to this well, this is the well right here. It has a cap on it, but this is the well right here. If you go straight across right here in this line of pipes, the one that's closer to it is missing, right? Out of this whole line of pipes is missing. And it's really missing because it's down in this well, right? They threw it down in the well. Other part is the fencing. The fences are torn up here around this area. One of those poles, if you go around on the other side here, those poles are lying on the ground. They're very long poles that goes with the fencing. And that's down in that well site as well. But before if you work your way up, and I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to pause this right here, you guys. And I'm going to, let's see if I can get this other one up. I'm put this on the screen. See if I can get this on the screen here. If you go down this well, and this is the well, the same well you guys see. I'm going to go ahead and stop right here. The same well you guys see on the right here. This same well I'm showing you guys is going to be the same as that well right here that you see on the inside of. When I had the company come in and do this assessment well. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward you guys and get deep because it's very deep. I'm trying to see if I can stop in certain areas. I think it's like 160. Yeah, right here. Okay. Now, this is some of the stuff, you guys, right here. This is that pipe. I'm going to see if you guys can see that. Let's see here. Okay, I hope you guys can see that. But anyway, this is the pipe that's outside on the ground out there. That's inside this well. So if you see around the little circle part there, that's the pipe there. So that don't belong there. Okay, that don't belong there. And so that's what the concern was. Some of the stuff was put in, but I'm gonna go down to the bottom. As you guys know, who have been watching this before, this well is very, very deep. So I'm trying to see if I can point out some things as I get there, if I can find the right spots. Right now, 500, 600 feet, 700 feet down in this well, 800. But I'm trying to see if I can work my way from the bottom and then start working my way to the top and tell you what I said. Like, for instance, this right here is the pole for the fencing that you guys seen at the top level up there, right? So that's down. And that's the reason why I put that pole there for a thing, too, so you guys can see that there was a mound of dirt sitting on top of the pole where they had put a significant amount of dirt in this well. So if I was a player, you can see the dirt falling off now. And right here, see that right there? That's exactly the significant amount. You know, when you throw something down from the top down to the bottom, it catches on the top of something. And so it's like a lid. So that's dirt from off the ground level that came down in that well and was used to cover something up. So long story short, I'm trying to get down here to the bottom right here. Let's see if I can get farther down. Yeah, this right here, perfect spot, is where this little area right here. I can't really circle around so you guys can see my cursor. But that little round little part you see in this camera footage right there, that's what we're concerned about. Almost like the top of something, like a skull or whatever the case may be. We're not sure. We're one of the piping that's going down, what they use to throw down in there as well. It's something we feel like being probably covered up, being used to cover up. So that's what you see there. In my view, it's possible could be a human skull or something down there because of the color. I've been seeing some human remains before out in the desert, and that kind of remind me just of the coloring and things like that. So if you was to work your way up back again, like I said, that first thing is whatever this is down on the bottom. The guy who does this well, especially, never see this kind of stuff. If I show y'all the other well site, then you see the difference. Supposed to be a straight shot down, no debris, nothing that is there. And this being the well that I believe that Daniel really was at, because of the 1 mile west and 2 mile north, that's more plausible that if something was to happen, not accusing nobody, something happened and there was covered something in a well, it would be this well. Why this well is the only well with debris and things in it, when the other well is straight down, clean and clear. Like this gentleman said, who actually did the well inspection for me, said that he have never seen in his years of doing this stuff like this down in that well. So that's why he spent a significant time trying to figure out what it is with me. He is actually also seeing this big old piping that's down in there that shouldn't be there. Why is all of that down in there, and why so much dirt was dumped down in this well? On top of that, so I'm gonna go kind of backwards a little bit so I can talk about the fencing as well. That little pipe there shouldn't be there. This is the fence. I'm going to go up about the dirt, of course. So we feel like that stuff was put in there first. You can see it there, and then the piping, the fence piping came second for whatever reason. Then from there, if you come back up out of this well, I'm trying to see if I can get to the problem where I can show you this wood structure. If I can get back, it's a hit and miss, you guys. I don't have a certain number where I can stop at, but I'm trying to give you guys an idea of how this well looks on the inside, and plus the things that was thrown in there that's very highly suspicious. Highly suspicious. This thing shouldn't be there in this well, according to this well inspector. Of course, like I said again, this is the pipe. So he had to go through the center of this pipe to try to get around. He was trying to find all kind of ways to use that camera to go between, around on the side, or wherever we can to get through this pipe so we can get to the bottom of this well to find out what else was in this well. So the first thing he saw was that pipe and like, what that doing here? So if you look right here at this point, there's a wood structure. You see part of the wood right there. This is the end of that pipe. So if you look at this picture right here, you probably see a wood structure right on the left corner, down on the bottom. That's a wood structure actually holding that pipe up, because whatever they put that wood structure in there first, the wood, it had enlarged there, and then they tried to throw the piping in there, and that wood was strong enough to keep that piping from going straight down the rock bottom of that well. So that pipe is just kind of sitting there. So again, he tried to go around it, and that's the only way he was able to do that, is try to go through the center of the pipe itself just to get back on the other side of the so he can go through the well itself. Now he's back on the well itself, but he had to go through the pipe just to do that, right? The pipe that was thrown down in there. So I just wanted to point that out to you guys, and I'm gonna go back to this other screen share. Just point that out to you guys again. The reason why I was saying earlier this morning, when you supposed to be a police department and you're vetting the story, you vet that story. Let's see here. So I want to say, yeah, when you're supposed to be vetting the story, you vet the story. And let's see if I can get this playing. But that's exactly right here, you guys. All of that right there is the piping that's down there. One of them is down that well. The fence is down that well. And I'm sure whatever other heavy thing they use to throw down in there to weigh something down was there. If you guys, if I think I got it on this video as well, if I let it play. If I, let me see if I can get this going for us. Okay, good. Let me back that up. About the pass. This is the mound of dirt where I believe this dirt come from. So if you guys look at this mound of dirt over here, that's why I believe where the dirt came from, to be able to dump down in that well to cover something up. Because you can see the dig marks there. When you go, if you're there in person, you can see all of this. The dig mark. There's a big mound of dirt come from this angle to be able to throw down in that well. So I believe that's where the dirt came from, that was put down in that well to cover something up. I put this out to the law enforcement. They haven't moved on it. I even tried to put it on this Q&A. Nobody moved on it. So the part is, for me, I tried to even go get a company to that's supposed to could get that stuff out of there, right? While I had the opportunity with the agreement with the owners, and the only company that does it is Weber, right? So that's the irony to all of that, So that's why I'm saying, if somebody's going to vet a story, I tell families this all the time. I know people love cops and love the police department. I like the police department too, because we need them. At the same time, again, I'll say it over and over again, I'm not anti-police, not even by a little bit. I'm anti-corruption, and I'm anti this whole blue crap. You know what I'm saying? That's almost when I was in the military. We say, hey, we're not the one, no color. We're green. We call ourselves green. That's fine and dandy. But if some of the soldiers are doing the wrong thing, we out there on a mission, and the soldier was to start blasting on little kids and women and children and start killing little community, for lack of words, start shooting them up or something like that. That's a war crime. You think we're going to sit down and don't say anything about it? Or we see another unit out there killing people, some innocent civilians and stuff like that. We're going to cover it up because we're in the military together? No, that's a war crime. We got to say something about it. Battle buddies or not, So the thing is, because you live by an integrity, you live by a code, and also you live by the soldier's creed and everything else. We have rules, and we have laws and stuff. So if you're a person that's supposed to be upholding the law while you're hiding and trying to protect, a department or whatever the case may be, anybody. So I'm saying is, guys, if you really want to look into what really happened, then you'll go out there on the ground and vet the story. Just like when I did before, I had to put this information with myself on the screen. But before I had to go to this information, you guys, the first thing when I finally got Buckeye to come out there to this well site. Let me back it up just a little tad. To this well site, the reason why I had to go to get my own company, go in there somebody else, is because they had a camera to go down in that well, and couldn't even go be submerged underwater. Couldn't even get the well to be couldn't get it submerged underwater, and that's a problem. That's a problem. That means you just half doing the job and then expecting me to accept that somehow. You bring cameras that can't be submerged underwater. The man that had did it was whining because his camera kind of got damp a little bit on the bottom, and you wanted me to walk off. And the other part is I learned that day from the lieutenant. Now, you guys, I do have video of that live. He was doing a live, and he admitted they never came to that well site looking for Daniel. The other well site that we're assuming that was the right one. They never been out there. That was his first time figuring out. He was talking about some well site that's south of where the vehicle was found. Well, we've been out there. He had the wrong coordinates. He was in Buckeye went to some other well site because they didn't take the time to find out what well site was really what well site that this whole incident is supposed to happen. And so I have taken the time out. I have gotten on the ground. I have, like I say, if Buckeye's been funny and say the FBI said I'm doing a great enough job of my own that they don't have to come in, that's an insult because I know the FBI can have all the stuff they need to do. But at the same time, I can say I feel like I'm doing a better job than Buckeye when it comes to finding my son and getting information and making common sense of what's going on in this whole story and why I don't have a badge and a gun and the law behind me, why the law enforcement should be vetting the story a lot better and doing their job to find out to come to the truth. I don't care who the person is. So that's the kind of stuff, it's kind of common sense stuff. You use a lot of common sense. You lose available information that's on the ground. You get on the ground and you look for yourself. Just like I said, Buckeye, way they do things, in my opinion, is they can put it on their report and say, I did this, I did that. I can put on a report myself and say, hey, I went to go look for Daniel. I can look out my car window and say, and write it down on paper and say, yes, I look for him, and then really get out my vehicle. Just like I used the analogy in the past, you guys, it's easy for Buckeye to put something on a report to say, look, somebody say, hey, for instance, the analogy was somebody come to you and say, hey, David, can you go in that cabinet and get me that jar of jelly out the cabinet? And then I said, yeah, sure. I can go see the jar in the cabinet for me. And I go in there and I look in there at the cabinet. I just open it up. I kind of look my eyes around there and see it. And I don't see it. And I just shut the door. I mean, I could technically say I went to go look, but I didn't move nothing around to go actually find it. It might be there, but I didn't put my hands to it to even go check. And that's the way I look at the way they handle my son's case. They do a good enough to say, I did this and I did that, but they're not really trying to find Daniel, because they would not have me going out here doing this kind of work, being able to ask those kind of questions that should be answered and things like that. You guys shouldn't have these kind of questions that you guys have, and which I'm about to go to right now. And I really thank you guys for being patient. But you guys shouldn't have to ask the question that you have. But definitely I'm here to answer those. So if you guys have any questions, haven't said that you got any questions, I want to get in this part. You have any questions, put this back up. You have any questions, please, by all means, put in the word question before your question, the capital letter Q, question mark, something like that. As I'm coming down the comment section, I can see it. I just want to first say thank you guys, every last one of you coming out to this Q&A this evening, just to hear me out. But I will be going down kind of fast this time so I can get your questions instead of stopping to everybody and saying thank you. But thank you, Valerie, for letting me put your from Canada, putting things back up again, start off where I left off. But I will be coming down, strolling down the comment section. You guys have questions, please, by all means, make sure you put that question mark there, the word question, a capital letter Q, and that's what all I'm looking for. So I'm kind of strolling down. I see names here, and I see you guys are saying little things here and there. And I really wish I could stop, but for time's sake, I definitely want to make sure that I, get these questions done. So again, thank you, Anissa, for that super chat. Again, I really appreciate it. God bless you for that and your support. But again, like I said, you guys, I have to continue to do my fight for Daniel. I continually need your support. This fight is not over, and as you can see, it's not over until we get answers. And I say we because you guys have a high interest in my son's case. You guys have been fighting for answers as well. You guys have been making phone calls, writing letters, and I still need y'all to do that too as well. Y'all know my agenda right now is to get my son's case moved to proper authority. I'm asking, my son is a resident of Tempe. I'm asking Maricopa County. My son is also went missing. He's a resident of Maricopa County as well as went missing in Maricopa County. So all that kind of stuff. We see a department had really damaged my son's case, and I'm trying to get it into hands outside of the department. I don't want the department to have anything. They need to turn over every information they got to another authority. And they can do that. Some people ask me, yeah, they can do that. They have the right to do that. They can turn on everything they have into a different jurisdiction. They can. But I can tell you right now, that it's less likely they want to because they're arrogant, first of all, in my opinion. And at the same time, they don't have the real interest of finding Daniel. And that's my opinion. Cute question. Is that panel to cover the sunroof? Is it a moon roof or a sunroof? It's like a moon roof in a sense, but it's a sunroof. Those panels, I had a little video I wanted to show y'all before. I showed you guys before how that panel worked in that vehicle. But yeah, it's a sunroof. Also, it's like two parts of that Cressetta, where you have to lock. So you have to actually get it to a key that comes with the vehicle. I wish I can pull that up real quick for you guys so I can show you. Let's see. Let's see if I can pull that up real quick. And so you guys can really get the information about how that thing works. I put it up here before. There's a video there I had put there so you can see how that sunroof actually comes off. You have to have a key. A key just to let's see if I can get it here, if it's there, and then I can give you a little preview of that. I think this may be the right one. Let me see here. I'm going to put this video up. I'm going to share this right here and see if this is the one. If this is the one, that'd be perfect. Let's see if I can get this up real quick. Let's see.
If equipped, the My Sky open air roof system can retract
like a sunroof. Or you can remove both panels and enjoy even more of the great outdoors. You'll find the controls in the overhead console. Use the larger control to open and close the panel. Use the smaller control to vent the panel. To completely remove the front panel, make sure that it's not retracted back and is completely closed. From inside the passenger compartment, insert the supplied key into the latch keyhole. Now, rotate the key toward the symbol to release the lock. The handle will pop into the unlocked position. Remove the key, pull downward, and swing the panel handle to the roof. Now, slide the panel out of its track. From outside the vehicle, completely remove the panel and store it in the roof panel bag, located in the cargo area. If you would like to remove the rear panel, repeat this process and store the panel in the roof panel bag. To ensure the safety of your passengers and cargo, strap the bag to the tie-downs located in the back of the cargo area. To install the panels, start with the rear one. Place it correctly on its track and gently align the panel with the colored guide tabs to ensure the panel is closed properly from inside the passenger compartment. The rear panel is labeled with the blue guide tabs and the front panel is labeled with the yellow guide tabs. Now swing the panel handle until you hear it click to lock it in place. To make sure that the panel has been properly refitted, push up on the panel in order to verify that it is properly hooked up to the respective clamping locks. To install the front panel, repeat this process. This video is not intended to take the place of your owner's manual. For complete details and other important safety information,
I believe I can stop it right there, you guys. I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of that as well. Since the question came up there, Cressetta. Yeah, it's a locking mechanism. This is not the video I used before, but it is definitely a locking mechanism for that vehicle. So you have to have a special key to be able to do that. So you have to have the key to actually go in and unlock this panel. So the Buckeye Police Department said he kicked his way out of it with his superhuman strength, I'm sure, and kicked his way out of the sunroof and took his clothes off, after he sat there for a length of time, cranking it up for 46 initial cycles, sitting with a vehicle lying on the side. So that kind of stuff, all that the incredible superhero type stuff that goes on in the story they give me. All right, thanks so much for your question. I have one from Crenshaw. Thank you so much for your question as well. Was any blood found at the scene? According to Buckeye Police Department, no. They said they don't believe he sustained any injuries because there was no blood found. We didn't see any blood in the vehicle. And like I said, but at the same time, said he had a head injury. In a meeting a few days after that, I can tell you, I reiterated on that. How you know, my son was in the vehicle, or they did talk about it again. They didn't see with their eyes no blood. I said, well, how you know no blood was in there without testing for it? And I know they got the stuff they use, I think luminol, some stuff I not really knowing, but I know they use it on television. You see things they use to determine blood was wiped up and things like that. They haven't used anything. They haven't done anything to determine that if blood was in the vehicle. I even got a smart remark from them when I asked them how they know Daniel was even driving the vehicle. Y'all didn't do any forensics work on the vehicle. How you know he was driving? The answer was, it's his vehicle. He's obviously he was driving it. Like some stuff like that. And that's the kind of thing I'm saying, you guys. If you leave it up to certain police officers and they say something like this, and you're supposed to say, "Oh, okay, yeah, okay, I agree with you," or "Yeah, you're right. It's his vehicle. It's obviously he was driving it," because they said it. I don't take anything. I don't care what uniform you're wearing. All due respect to law enforcement, but they need to respect us as well, families as well. All due respect to the job that they do. All due respect to myself and all my battle buddies who serve this country well. But when you put that uniform on, you're serving people. You're not serving yourselves. And so your feelings should be aside and all your emotions and worrying about what people say about you, and do your job. So do your job correctly. It's not about you. It's not about the blue. It's about finding answers and solving these problems and finding these people. It's a damn shame for this to be 2022 and we have people in the United States still missing because of things like this, what law enforcement does for families. The money they don't want to put into for families. But then at the same time, the same government can go out there and find the enemy of the United States that I was fighting against, the Taliban, when I was in Afghanistan, Osama bin Laden, finding him in somebody else's country, Pakistan, finding Saddam Hussein in somebody else's country, in their country, hiding out somewhere. They can find these people when they want to. They know where they're at all the time, I'm sure. But somehow in 2022, you have thousands of missing people all the time, and we can't find them. You can't get cell phone pings with all this technology. You can't get camera footage with all this technology. You can't get information off of Uconnect in a vehicle that's designed to give you all this information where the vehicle at. Just things like that, common sense stuff. And that's because, like I said, it goes back to what people want to do and what they're not going to do. I can talk to my face turn blue, and the police departments, when I'm talking to all of them, can say, "Oh, we're going to have these meetings." And while your person is dying, while your person is missing, they play politics. Oh, and what they can and might do and this and that, slow moving. Like you have all the time in the world. It's not urgent, because it's not urgent. It's not their children. It's not their children. It's not their family. You can say anything you want to. "Oh, I'm really sorry." Those are words to me. Words don't mean nothing to me without action. So I don't care about people's emotions and feelings when they say, "Hey, I care about your family. I care about what's going on." No, show me. That's the only way you can show me. Even God's, well, I want to get to religion, but you guys, you know what I'm going at with that. So definitely want to say, yeah, with the blood in the vehicle there at Crenshaw, there was, according to the Buckeye Police Department, no, they didn't see any blood. We don't know. Maybe some blood is there, and that's the reason why I'm definitely looking for the forensics. You guys, I did convince one law enforcement agency that wanted to stay silent to do the forensics work on the electronics of my son's vehicle. But I am working really hard to get the forensics done on the vehicle itself, the transfer paint, the airbags that I have, all that stuff I have, the clothing that's on the ground, to see if that's really my son's clothing, all that kind of stuff. Getting that stuff processed is what I'm really fighting for. And then, like I say again, I've been asking these departments for months now, and they was promising me certain things, and here it is months later, and they're still working on, "Oh, we trying to figure out what we meet." I mean, like, come on now. it's time to act. It's time to act, and I've been very patient over a year or so. You guys fighting for Daniel, and I have yet to see them spend millions of dollars on my son, a geologist, a contributor to the society. He's not a murderer, as we've seen them spend. Had law enforcement from every agencies out there look for a murderer who killed a young lady. You guys know who I'm talking about. Killed a young lady. They spent millions of dollars to search for a murderer before they even found out what happened to the young lady. So they can do what they want to do. Law enforcement can do what they want to do when they want to do it. It just depends on who the persons are and who they're willing to spend money on and things like that. So that's what's important to them. It's not actually the fact that they really want to help. It's really how they're going to protect themselves, make themselves look good, or whatever their agendas are and things like that. That's what I'm starting to learn even more. So that's where I go at with that. So, all right, I have a question here from Rain. Thank you so much, Rain Lynn, for coming in on the YouTube side. In the police report, it says Ken stated that Daniel asked Ken if he wanted to go home back to Phoenix. Why would Daniel say Phoenix when he lived in Tempe? And that's another thing too. Yeah, that's one thing for sure. He do live, but I don't know if Ken lived in Phoenix. Maybe they had a conversation. He said, "Hey, I'm from Phoenix," or something. I don't know, and that could be a reason why I say Phoenix. I don't know, but yeah, definitely Daniel lived in Tempe himself. Now, one thing that I did get from, and I put it out in the public before, they tried to make the big deal to say this before I found out the timeline is wrong. First of all, with Ken, but the thing is, oh yeah, he said he was tired, like something wrong with being tired at work and want to go home and rest. Like it's a big crime. It's like a I got you moment or a aha moment. He wanted to off himself because he was tired and he wanted to go home and rest. Like they made this big deal even about this one little thing that that my son said. If the Buckeye Police Department was doing a little bit of homework, just a little, do some real police work, they would have realized that my son, according to his information, I put this out before from his cell phone, that he'd been working all night doing Instacart. So if you're working all night and you're tired and you had to get up early, you guys know he was at this first well site around 7 that morning. He get up that early to go do some work at a well site and then had to go to second. Damn right he tired. He want to go. Is it supposed to be so-called get ready to rain or look like it's going to rain, according to this guy? When you use anything to say, hey, you know what, let's go ahead and close the site down. That's plausible. That's plausible for a person to say that, but we know those things didn't happen because it don't make sense with the timeline. Like you said, the timeline is what throws all that off. But even just looking at it that way, you would see that he was working kind of late with this Instacart thing as well. All right, so we did have another issue before he went missing with his Waffle House and stuff like that. So you guys know all of that plays a part in all this whole thing. But thanks so much for your question. Chrisetta, again, for your question. Have you heard the voicemail that Ken left? Yes, I did. Oh, no, he did. He left. I did heard the voicemail, of course. He left that first one and the only one he left when he. I told you guys, and I think I had it for you guys as well. The voicemail of Ken speaking on this truck that was going to show up, you guys. And so y'all guys heard that already. Yes, I do have that. He's telling Daniel not to come up there just yet because some fuel truck waiting on and things like that. So I did give you guys that as well. But yes, I did hear that voicemail already. And thank you again, Ryan. Oh, thank you, Ryan. Thank you so much for that super chat. I really appreciate that as well. Like I told you guys, that really means a lot to me. God bless you. I really appreciate that. Thank you for your love and your support for this channel as well as for me and my family, for Daniel. I really thank you. Thank you, Ryan, for that as well. And that's very kind of you. Let's see who else. And also Gretchen Mama, thank you so much as well. I wish I could put that up there on the screen again. Thank you so much. I will put it up when I get to it. But thank you so much for that love and support as well. God bless you both. All right, and let's see if I have any more here. Let's see. Somebody said something about what's they say? Ken changed his story. It's very concerning. Yeah, he changed. Like I said before, he changed stories more than the person changed the baby diapers. But it is, depends on what you watch it on. DJ Moore, David, do you have a location for well site 1 on Verrado Way? Yes, I do. I have the location for that, and I have, matter of fact, went to go visit that site. And the ironicity to that, you guys, and you should know this as well. 2 days before that vehicle showed out in that desert, I did get an alert from my it could have been the day before that too, but I got an alert from my auntie and family, and they're saying, "Hey, David, this guy's on the Buckeye Police Department Facebook page, saying that he see a vehicle like Daniel's vehicle, right?" So, make a long story with that. I went to go check it out. Sure enough, he was trying their best to get Buckeye to look into this, but they didn't want to accept it for some reason. So I called this guy up, hit him in the inbox, whatever, call him up, trying to follow this lead up. And he explained to me that his wife took that picture. The vehicle sitting on the side of the road, smashed up against a tree. I mean, he was describing this damage, you guys. The windshields looked like it being smashed in, and the damage on the front. He was just telling me some little things about the vehicle. Smashed up against some tree or something out of it, looked like. But anyway, give me the picture. He said the color would match everything he was pretty much saying about the vehicle would match. I have never seen my son's vehicle up to that point personally. I've seen the picture my son gave me, but not actually seen it in person. So when he sent the picture to me, I got the picture. Yeah, it was pretty blurred, but he said he pretty much sure that's the same as that vehicle, or the same color and everything. So I was really, really excited about that. Getting some type of lead. Called my daughter, said, "Hey, we told the guy we're gonna come up there to go check it out." Got my daughter; she was getting ready as well. I called the Buckeye Police Department, meted Detective Biffin, and before I can get my whole sentence out, he said, "Oh, that's not your son's vehicle." Like, well, how you know this? How you know it's not my son's vehicle? I said, "You need to go out there and check to see. You know, let's go out there and see." I mean, I had to talk this guy into sending a police cruiser. He said, "Okay, yeah, I'll send a cruiser out that way, right, to go look at it to see." I said, "Good." In the meantime, I went to go get my daughter. And I told the guy, "Hey, look, I'm coming up that way to go check this vehicle." I told Buckeye that I was going up there to go look at it. And as soon as we got on the road, the guy called me back, said, "Mr. Robinson, I don't know what happened, but the vehicle is gone. I mean, it was here, just here, and now it's gone." I like somebody told away. He didn't see anybody told away. I said, "Well, that's crazy because the Buckeye Police Department told me they was going to have a cruiser come out there to see." He said, "Yeah, he's seen the cruiser pass him, but the vehicle's not there." So of course, I'm immediately gonna call and ask them, did they tow it away? He said he's gonna look into it. To this day, they have never given me any indication about that. But I'm saying this, guys, the ironicity to that is the only way you can get to this from this first well site and go to the first well site is to pass where this vehicle was found. You literally have to pass. There's no way in that place or way out. That's where you have to find. You have to pass the spot where this vehicle was found by this guy who said this vehicle was there on that corner. Is nowhere around it, no other street to go around it. So the ironicity is right there where you pass. The spot is where the vehicle is found. Total way is where you have to go through just to get to this well site or get past the well site to get to Sun Valley Parkway. So that's the ironicity to that as well. And then 2 days later, I get a alert from the Buckeye Police Department that this vehicle was found in the desert, right, on July the 19th. So all that is not just kind of ironic to me. I really think they have a lot of connection with that, and that's the things that would make a lot of sense and need to be looked into. Until the Buckeye Police Department can definitively say where that vehicle went at on that day, and that vehicle wasn't towed out there to that there's a site. You know, you guys got to look at a criminal mind, in my opinion. I'm out there in the news, local news here in Arizona. I've been pushing hard, you guys, night and day, trying to get Daniel's story out there into the media. And I was ever blessed by Nicole Griggs as well. She's one of the reporters here, as well as Josh Sanders, who's no longer here in Arizona. But those two gave me my break. And you know what? I've been really pushing hard and get Daniel's story out there. And you can imagine the local people from Buckeye to Phoenix to you name it, Tempe, Goodyear, and all these other little cities hear this stuff, right? And if you're a criminal, one thing we know about criminals, the ones that actually have part to do with anything going wrong, they show up at your searches, they show up at your press conference, they show up at certain things. So I'm definitely there on the ground searching for my son, actively searching for my son hard, almost a month. And they produced a vehicle. They produced a vehicle where it need to be found. And only two people I know that actually wanted me to know this information is two people that came up when the vehicle showed up, you guys. I know I'm just gonna leave it that way. But you know what? The thing is, people shows up when to the scene of certain little things, right? So if you look at the whole big picture, the vehicle was, in my opinion, because I don't have those definitive facts, is that vehicle that was on the side of the road was my son's vehicle, and it ended up in the desert. So that explains the finding that my investigator said this crash happened somewhere else, right? It happened somewhere else. And yeah, of course, if you roll it down that hill, then it's going to crash again. That's another crash. But it happened somewhere else. If you guys look at the pictures I have, I could show you guys as well. The vehicles and they put the vehicles in drive. No, it was in neutral. There's a neutral line on the side right here behind you guys. So you look at all this kind of stuff, it's common sense. It's common sense, and so that's really troubling to me, not really looking into the facts and the stuff that's there from what my investigator have given. Instead of going with those facts, they double down by hiring their own investigator to say something that he didn't even see for himself. The dude just put something on paper. Again, the police department some police departments have a habit of doing that just to make themselves look good and say I did this, and our investigator said this, in my opinion, but at the same time, saying they're not really doing nothing at all. Because if they could have, that investigator, if he really wanted to find out what happened to my son's vehicle and how it ended up in that ravine, and see if vetted the story that my investigator found, the tangible evidence, he would say, hey, Mr. Robinson, can we see this vehicle? We want to examine the vehicle, blah, 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 to see the damage that your investigator found. They haven't done any of that. None of that kind of stuff. They ain't even never seen a vehicle, but yet can make a whole full report about a vehicle that they have never seen. That should be criminal, in my opinion. All right, so here we go as well. Let me see if I got here. Any more questions, you guys? I'm coming down the comment section and looking for your questions. So if you have those, I would like to answer those as well. All right, they'll have one from Clumsy. And if I miss your question somehow, I'm going down really fast, I apologize. Question from Clumsy. How long had Daniel been working for the company? I think it was almost 3 years at the time they went missing. So working there for a little while. Like I said, young geologist, starting his career off, first company, first job. So yeah, he did really well landing that job, as a geologist. But I think it was almost 3 years at the time. Excuse me, DJ Moore. How flat is it? It doesn't look like there's any vantage point. Excuse me. Excuse me, you guys. Sometimes my throat gets really dry. Give me a second. I'll put a cough drop in. Okay. Excuse me. You said how flat is the terrain? I believe we asked from Gina Moore. Now, of course, the picture is very deceiving. It is a drop. Excuse me. When you take the pictures, that's what I'm saying. That's another point I'm making. If you're an investigator and you're trying to judge things, and you look at stuff at a picture, third-party pictures, you're not actually examining the vehicle yourself, you'll never get anything off of just pictures, period, without actually looking at stuff yourself, especially if you're investigating. But the area is not flat. That is a ravine. It goes down, according to Buckeye Police Department, 20 feet. I didn't measure that, but it goes down. I've been there, of course. But it do look flat from a vantage point from a picture, and it's not flat. So I just want to tell you that part as well. To really see it on the glass things over. Yeah, but just kind of looking at it from the picture standpoint, yeah, definitely it look like it's flat. Even from now the picture, I remember when I was on the side of the road, Sunville Parkway with my binoculars, that terrain looked very flat to me. Until I got out there and then realized it wasn't. Excuse me, guys, I have some little issues with my throat, but it wasn't flat. Definitely, it's not a terrain that's very flat at all. But thanks so much for your question, DJ Moore. I have a question for Clumsy. Question: do we know the distance between this well site to the location of his Jeep found by the rancher 2 to 3 weeks later? Yeah, it's about 3 miles from that. Well, I'll say it like this. It's 3 miles from the well site that's not where Daniel found. Like I was saying, you guys, that's why I went through this whole thing tonight. I have reason to believe and know just by the facts that was given to me. The 2 mile from that turn, from that T junction, it will lead you to that second well site with all that stuff in it. That's more plausible to where Daniel was actually located in the last well site. He was working with this guy. That first well site we were saying all the time, that's a false. And that was something that I was led there to keep me from looking into that second well site, the other well site north, where all the stuff was found in that well site. But if you take it from that point, you just add an extra mile, about 4 miles from that well site to the crest site. But from the first well site, not first well site that morning, but the well site on Sun Valley Parkway. The first well site on Sun Valley Parkway, that'd be 3 miles or so right there. So roughly around that amount. Clumsy. All right, anybody else have more questions? I'm still looking for those. Aaron, thanks so much for your question. And thank you all for all the stuff you do in the background, Aaron. I haven't talked to you in a while, but thank you so much for being here and being a part of this Q&A. Do you see the gate with the missing post? Yes, I have. And that's what I'm saying, it's torn down the area on that gate. So that's why next time I had a Q&A, I'll show y'all pictures of that well site a lot clearer so you guys can see that. The post we saw in the post that we saw in the well, yes. Matter of fact, there's a lot of those poles down on the ground. My best friend and I was out there a couple days ago. I took some more pictures. And, you know, yeah, one of them, they end up down in that well site as well. And again, thank you so much, Aaron, for your work. Appreciate it. You guys have more questions? I'm looking down this comment section. For those, I'm going out real fast. And those, I see a lot of comments, and I really thank you guys for your comments. I'm sure there's a lot of great comments there. I wish I can get them and say something to some of them. But I'm definitely going to look for these questions because I want to get all the questions I can in tonight before I end this Q&A in a little while. So, all right. Thank you, Rain Lynn. Thanks so much for your question. Question is it true that Daniel's friend came and seen him the weekend before he went missing and that he still works for Matrix, just a different state? Yes, he did. He came in from New York. Matter of fact, I don't know if he actually left. When I say, well, he did leave to go back to New York, but I'm saying I believe he came back again after that point to work here locally in Phoenix. So he came out to one search. I don't know if it was the same guy. I want to make sure I got the right because there's two of them. But he came. One of the workers, his friends came from New York. I believe the same one, and he came to actually work here in Phoenix now. He came to one search and that was it. And he didn't come out there anymore. But like I said, the Matrix guys, I think they came out on their own. I don't think it's a company thing. But every so often, the Matrix guys came out to help me in the searches. When I say help, they go out searching with me. A lot of them would man the gate for me. I have them do that to direct people in to the command center and stuff like that. So, but he had came out to the search only once. But as far as I last known, he moved here, and definitely moved here, and I definitely see this right here. Thank you so much, Jessica, for being part of Q&A. You guys, Jessica Nunez. If I say your name correct, I apologize. But thank you, Jessica, for being here tonight and sharing your daughter's story, Lisa Navarro. You guys, I put that on here. I'm putting the information down on the bottom of the screen as well. She's looking for her daughter. I wish I had some pictures up and stuff like that. But looking for her daughter. Been missing. You can imagine what a mother go through. And I just want you guys to put her information there since I have her here on the screen in the chats. And I want to make sure I put the information if you know anything about her. Just, if you guys, you can, Google that. Google her story, Elisa Navarro. Google the story and then, like I said, share it. And if you guys can, like I said, if you have any information, contact the proper authorities and get this answer. I'm trying to make sure I can find it. I put information down here on the bottom of the screen. And let's see here. I don't see it here. I thought I had it here this morning. Okay. Oh, here we go. So I put information down here on the bottom. Elisa Navarro. You guys, if you please, I just happen to see Jessica here on this Q&A, and thank you, Jessica, so much. But yes, the mother shouldn't have to go through that pain. And you guys, please, you want to help out. Please make sure you look the story up, and keep your eyes open, keep your eyes peeled to bring her daughter back home. Her daughter needs a mother. She's a young lady, and definitely need to be out there, lost. So we praying for, for healing and everything else, and we know that she would find her daughter. So definitely, you guys, we need the support. All right, I have a question here, and I hope I didn't miss anybody else's question from Rhett. Can you sue law enforcement for not doing their job, or are they not looking because of his race? I don't know. Like I said before, you guys, my biggest thing is trying to get them to help me to look for Dane. Like I told one earlier, I need to see the same urgency that I'm doing as a father to look for my son. They have the resources, they have the manpower. I'm just one person. I do have a small team I'm really happy about, but we're not law enforcement. And all I care about is them doing the right job, doing their job like they're supposed to. And none of these excuses, none of this, BS that I hear. And I get it. You can make all the excuses in the world, and it sounds very plausible, but it's not plausible when somebody's life is at stake. So my main concern, is trying to find Daniel, and and try to hold them accountable for those who not doing the right thing. So whether they law enforcement or not, you know what I'm saying. So other than that, yeah, all I can say is I'm just looking for Daniel, and as for the race thing, it's a lot of avenues there you can look at. I'm not calling anybody racist or anything like that, but it tends to be statistic wise, you would have a higher rate of things happening in a case like my son's than you would have in anybody else. So that's statistically true. Not saying that's the case here necessarily, but race do play a lot of parts on things. A lot of times, just in this country, we have to be very honest. Yeah, it happens a lot, but I'm not going to necessarily say, as in this case with my son, I just know they're not doing the much that they should be doing, and you can take it a lot of reasons why. Until we hear those reasons, I cannot really say that right now. But I look into those reasons as well. But I just know that I'm not getting the same urgencies I see in some other cases as well, and that's very disappointing to see that. All right, but PM channel, page 43. The police report states that states touch DNA was taken multiple areas inside the vehicle. Why have they not released any information to you? Aren't they obligated? One of the biggest things they claim this. It's funny. The first thing I did in that meeting, and the only reason why they did anything, you guys, they haven't done anything on the scene. I was in a meeting. They said they didn't do any forensics on the scene. I was pissed off, right? And so I demanded in that meeting for them to do fingerprinting. I want to know if somebody else is inside my son's vehicle. And I talked them into it. They said they can hold a vehicle, and they don't do it. I demanded it. So they were telling me they're going to do fingerprinting, and they put in their report touch DNA. But what they're comparing those touch DNA from, you guys, they have never, ever came to me and my family asked us for any DNA samples. Since then, Daniel went missing. The reason why neighbors and all that stuff have it now, because I initiated it this year, you guys. I think it was around April or May this year. I initiated it. I went out and called them myself and said I want to have this done. Of course, they had to go to the law enforcement who's in the case with Daniel. I didn't go to Buckeye to get it pulled. I got it pulled in Tempe, my DNA swab, and my son's mother, she's in South Carolina. I'm hoping so. She had it done there. So all the DNA stuff wasn't even in the system at all. So what they compare anything to, I don't know. The other part is there was never ever mentioned any swab, like that kind of DNA swab, until later on after, so they stopped becoming a problem. But the thing is with that, still, like you said, where's the answers? What's the answer? It's simple to say, yeah, we found the reason to believe in a criminal case that somebody else is inside Daniel's vehicle, and we need to turn this to a criminal case. Because I tell you this, they put this, only problem they're going to have is they put that in their report that they did this touch DNA sample stuff, and then something else come out of that, and then we're gonna have to go to question about why you didn't make this a criminal case when you found out somebody else was in this vehicle, for instance, right? Or why you're still. I mean, this whole point is you got to have some answers to that. So they can't go hindsight and go back and say, "Oh well, we ain't made a criminal case for what reason why you didn't make it when you found out somebody else was in this vehicle." We need to find out what happened. So the whole point is, I asked for the stuff. They have yet to say anything to me about it. So definitely, yeah, they're not reaching out to give me answers about that. So I haven't had no answers to that to this date about that. Whatever been swabbed or whatever the case may be. So, all right. So, but I'm not gonna keep fighting. I'm not gonna stop. Rachel, thank you so much again. I really appreciate you for that super chat. God bless you. That's really nice and kind of you. I really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. I thank all of you all who've been doing the super chats, supporting this channel, supporting what I'm doing for Daniel, supporting my family, for supporting my efforts. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. And that really brings joy to my heart as well. Keeps me going. I feel the love and I feel the support. And I really appreciate that. Thanks so much, Rachel Honor. All right, I have a question here from Unlimited Dearth. Thanks so much for your question. I've been dying to get out there to search more. Is this private land, state trust land? When is your next public search going to be? Also, I have looked into the area 11 miles away. One thing is, the first question is, first I want to say thank you so much for wanting to come out there and help in the searches. The other part is it private land? Yeah, you have some private lands out there. You also have some state land. You'd also have some federal land as well. So yeah, it's kind of a mixture. They have different islands of land kind of mixed around. I just got to know how to navigate them. And but as in for my next public search, I do have a private search. And the private search is coming up soon here. That's all forensic stuff. You guys, I've been blessed to run into some forensic experts that will be helping me as well. But the next public search is to be determined. I'm really trying to make sure I do that properly. I'm really working really hard, you guys, to make sure the funding is right and all that stuff, so everybody can be safe. It's cooler. That's the good part. And want to be able to get that off the ground correctly. So, but nevertheless, if it's going to be a public search, you guys will see it. I'll be talking about it here on Q&A. I'll be on the website. Please help finddane.com. On social media, I have it everywhere. Hey, because there's some areas right now I still need to search. Some areas that have to be researched. And if Dane's out there, of course I can't leave him on the ground. Thank you, Gretchen, so much. Gretchen Mama, again, for that. I really appreciate it. Again, thanks so much for your love, support, and helping. Y'all, I'm telling you guys, I really love that. Thanks so much. God bless you. And I really thank you. Thanks so much for that love, support. And you guys, if you have any more questions, I am looking for those. I think I am almost to that 2-hour mark. But I definitely want to get all the questions I can. So if you guys have questions, please ask those if I somehow missing, because I am coming down kind of fast. That's why I asked you guys, you can't put the word question there first, like Rec did here, question mark, or capital letter Q or something like that. If I can see it, it make it easier. Better chances is I won't miss your question. Is Weber a big company, or do they contribute funds to this town? I'm not sure how big they are. I'm not sure how big they are. I don't want to speculate on that. I didn't really get any really big, research on that company so much. I hear a lot of stuff out there too. This company is doing very well for themselves. This is things I just hear, and even the fact that maybe even can't have some stock into it or something. They part owners and all kind of stuff like that. So I don't know. I had to look into that stuff, but don't know a whole lot of this. I'll just know what they do as a company. They build well sites, and also they can do things like I said, recover things out of those well sites and stuff like that. All right, Clumsy, thanks so much. I really appreciate that. Your super chat. Thank you again. God bless you. I really appreciate your support. Always being here, supporting my channel, to help me get Daniel's story out there. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. God bless you for that. Like I said, that really is a morale booster. So anytime you guys show your love, support, just even being here, everybody who's here, anytime y'all show y'all love, support, it really helps me out a whole lot. Mentally, things get hard sometimes, but you know what? I had a little moment, mental break, and so I'm ready to fight and keep on going. Just like Jessica said, you got to keep on fighting. She's pushing really hard for her daughter. You see the information on the bottom of the screen. That's a mother, you guys, and she's not stopping. So, so you just pray for us, man. Pray for us, and thank you so much. Things like what you're doing there, Clumsy, I really appreciate it. You guys, all of you, that goes a long way. Thanks so much. All right, I have a question here from Rack. Thanks so much again. Is anyone from the company related to anyone on the police force? Can anyone just drive to these places? It's a possibility. I'm just gonna leave it just like that. It's a possibility, Rack. And those are kind of things you have to look into, to make sure there's no conflict of interest and things like that. So, and if they are, that's another reason why, if that is the case, a police department should be able to recuse themselves from the case period and turn it over to somebody else where it properly should be handled. So those are kind of things right there. So yes, you got to look into that, but I don't know. I'm not going to put that out there, but I was just going to say, yes, if that's the case, that'll be a reason why a police department should recuse himself if anybody in that department is related to the situation that's going on with my son. All right, so, and you can't just drive. You say drive to the places. Yeah, you can. If I'm not getting your question right, if anyone can just drive to these places. Yeah, people can drive from. It's right here. Phoenix is only about 40 minutes or so away from Buckeye, and in those areas, only about 10, 15 minutes from these spots in Buckeye to get certain places. So yeah, from Matrix New World, I say about 40, 45 minutes from Matrix New World, for instance, to where Daniel was last seen. So that kind of stuff. So everybody's in driving distance. Cressetta, what happened to the cop who first said he saw Daniel's truck wrecked? He wasn't okay. I'm trying to make sure you got which one you're speaking of, because if you're saying the guy who his wife took the picture on the side of the road, he's not a cop. But if you're talking about the other guy who said he was a federal law enforcement officer, that's another story as well. He's not a federal law enforcement officer, first of all. But he didn't say he's seen a wrecked truck. He just said he's seen Daniel before it was wrecked. And he said the vehicle wasn't damaged, of course, no damage. He claimed that he seen my son through his rifle, scope of his rifle, which I don't like hearing that, and far away. And then he said he later saw him again near the wagon of wash on the side of the riverbank, and had a discussion with him about where the target practice. Of course, the fallen part from Shiro's Nation's question here on the Q&A made me think about it. I was going along with my investigator and some other little things until I started having questions about who he is as a person when I found out he was lying about his identity and so on and so on. But one of the most plausible things was Shiro Nation said, and that, the funny part about it, after she said all this, I checked with Buckeye Police Department, and they vetted his story. They said, and they believe his story, right? He seen Daniel and blah, 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 this kind of deal. But this guy said that Daniel gave him directions to where he could target practice. He said, oh, people, they target practice over there on the other side of that hill or whatever, this area. Daniel had never been up in that area before in his life. He never been as well site in his life. So you can't give a person directions someplace that you have never been. Common sense again. And that really put a lot of questions to his story, period. Not that only the fact these people always change their time of their story. He also changed his story. He said he saw Daniel around 1 o'clock. And until my investigator found this information from the data he got back from California analysis that said the first initial crash happened at around 1 o'clock that day. And so he heard that, and then he changed. So, I saw him around 10, that type deal. He moved the story back. So he changed the story with that as well. Like I said, in his background, put a lot of questions there as well. So it depends on who you're talking about in this question. That's the only two I can think of that comes close to being probably thinking of, the question about the person being a cop. So I have a question here from No Way. Thank you so much for being here for the YouTube side. Question is, this company helping in any way putting pressure on LE? No, they're not. They I think they long have moved on from Daniel. Only thing I've heard from them lately was requesting certain things out my son's vehicle, which is under investigation. They're not able to get it right now. But you know, that's the only thing. You know, they want certain things company wise, I'm guessing. But the thing is, but no, they're not putting the pressure or doing anything else. Like I said, that company, in my opinion, seems to have moved on with life. All right, so excuse me. Ray Smith, Rack Smith, I'm sorry. Thanks so much for your question. Can you sue the company since your son went missing on the job? It's a possibility of that as well. I don't know. But the thing is, like I said, again, my job is to focus on trying to find my son. And that's the biggest thing for me right now. That's the only thing I think about is, you know, finding answers for my son. And the only way I can do that is to stay focused like I did from day one. When I left South Carolina, I had put my son as a mission. And the mission comes first, just like we do in the military. And I will find my son. And so my focus is there. And I'm gonna continue to, you know, focus on that. So, all right, question here from Dog Defender. Have you reached out to DOJ? Yes, I have. And what color was Ken's car? Only thing I saw with that is that Dale went up there to speak to him. He had a white Dodge truck, so utility truck. Dane's Boots, boss's car. And the only person I seen with anything that would make me pause is Daniel's immediate boss. He had his red pickup truck that he drove to the first search with a little small damage to it. But, you know, other than that, I'm really not sure about that one. But definitely, but I don't really know their vehicles too much, too well. Also, I have No Way question here. What can we do social media to help other than share? You know, like I say, other on social media, one thing is this kind of petition. I mean, my petition right now is to get this department to move my son's case. You know, you guys can share some of the stuff. You say other than share. I don't know what else you could do other than share what I have to say, but definitely, if you got something on your page you want to talk about when it comes to Daniel, is the police department. I want this case removed from that department. That department has done enough. The other part is, you guys, I hope you support me. And if you guys happen to be here in Arizona or can come, I will be having some type of protesting pretty soon. I'm definitely putting those together, working with some others to put this big protest in. Because, you know, this is a shame for some things that happen with policing. You know, I'm just like I'm saying, you know, you push a person in the corner, you can't expect them to not react. So you give the person in the corner. You say and say you know, certain things you'll say. Like I said, I'm just a person with action. You know, hey, I can't get what I need. I'm gonna start putting some more actions. I'm not going nowhere. So these guys got to get used to that. They got to get used to that. Unless they're gonna make this a company police department's career, they're just dealing with the Robinson family, pushing back or whatever the case may be, trying to get them to do stuff. Unless they're ready to deal with that, they got to do that or move or do something. They got to do something to show me that they're really serious about finding answers what's going on with my son. So until I see that, you know, there's no stopping. So things like that. So just whatever I say, you can share that as well. Also, you can go to pleasehelpfinddane.com. And that's all kind of ways you can help my efforts. Like I say, one of the main things is I had to keep my boots on the ground, be able to be effective, as well as I want the searches back again. I want to be able to, you know, keep my flyers getting out there. You know, this everything I'm doing in efforts to find Daniel. I need those things to continue. So God has been blessing from day one. You guys have been blessing. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Aaron Chase, question. Not a question. Okay. Not a question. Just letting you know we're supporting you. Thanks so much. I know you are, and God bless you. That you're doing an amazing job in your investigations. Thank you so much. Sending love and support. I know how you feel, Aaron. You talk about it all the time. We're in the background. I really appreciate that. Your support and your love, and everything that you do, and all the hard work that you've been doing, researching and the phone calls you're making and things like that. That don't go unnoticed, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. No Way, thank you so much for your super chat as well. God bless you. You put a smile on my face again. I really thank you guys for doing that tonight. And I really appreciate that. That goes a long way. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much again. God bless you. God bless you so much for your love and support. And taking time out just to do that, just showing your love. All right. And also, thank you, Dog Defender, for your question. What about calling an Army Reserve? I tried that before. We had I want to say reserve. We had National Guards. Reached out to some commanders, being that I'm a veteran, and tried to get them on the ground. I needed more people at the time to support me, getting kind of low and out there on the searches, and I need to hit some areas. And so we did reach out. We tried to get a training out, we call it, going to try to get volunteers. What we needed was, and we still need, is some areas that need to be searched on the other side of the Hansiyapa River, for instance. And it's kind of hard to get there logistically. We get there with the UTV vehicles, but the all-terrain vehicles or whatever, and quads and stuff like that, Jeeps and stuff. But it's hard to get other people over. It's a logistic to get the line searches that we need over that area, and to get people over. So what we're doing is reaching out to those commanders, and I was trying to get the National Guards to come in as a training op, and be able to carry us over to the other side. I have no problem. Everybody who got those type of vehicles have no problems getting there, but we're trying to make sure we get a number of people to be able to do the line searches on those areas. So try to find all kind of ways we could have done that, but that fell apart. That didn't work out. So yes, but that's not saying something I'm not going to try again in the future. But yeah, we did consider all of that. So all right, and thanks so much, Sophia, for putting that up. Fast and prayer for Daniel. Hashtag Alicia Navarro. You guys, if you can put both of those hashtags there on your pages, that really helped myself and help Miss Jessica Nunez help her find her daughter. Saying these are very important matters. So you guys can use those hashtags. Y'all know how hashtags work on social media. You guys can do that. That'll mean a lot to her, and I know it means a lot to me. So those both, Fast and prayer for Daniel, or you can just say hashtag Daniel Robinson, as well as Alicia Navarro, to make sure she come back home to her mother. So you guys, please, the information on the bottom, you got information about her, is on the bottom there as well. You can utilize those numbers to put in your tip. So, all right, Rack, again, thanks so much for your question. Have you thought about getting your own private investigator? Yeah, I already have one. I had two, as a matter of fact, in the past. This is heartbreaking. It's my first investigator. He left. And then I had a second one, which helped me out because he pretty much let me know at this point there was no need for it. I'm going to, matter of fact, you guys, I'm applying myself for to be a PI myself, and so I can try to see if I can get more done. But definitely sad to have to do that as well. Being a father, just to try to do something I feel like law enforcement should. But I have to do everything. I got to go through every step that I can to make sure that I can locate my son and find answers and stuff like that. So I'm working on that as well. Excuse me. Matthew, thanks so much. Question: does Caitlin or the friend whose parents who own the company have a red car? I don't know about Caitlin's car or anything about that young lady. I don't know about the other woman, which she's a high secret at Buckeye Police Department seemed to be keeping secret. That was also there that night. My son was with Caitlin, and I don't know what they drive. I don't know what they, certain things about them. I stay away from that. But as in his whose parents or who own the company, I don't know what they drive as well. I just know that the people that own the company, they seem very nice people. I did speak to the husband and the wife at separate occasions, and they seem to be very nice people. But as in what they drive and things like that, I wouldn't know those answers to that. But Aaron, have a question here. Thanks so much. Are we on for Zoom tomorrow? Yes. I definitely have Zoom for the Ambassador Program. You guys, if you have a question about the Ambassador Program, please come out and learn more about the Ambassador Program and how that's fitting into the Daniel Robinson Foundation, as well as helping me get those flyers out and stuff. So if you guys want to help, and somebody came on early, said they want to help some different ways and stuff. Come out to the Zoom meeting tomorrow at 5 p.m. Arizona time. That's California time. I don't think they changed the time yet, but California time, and that's also 8:00 p.m. On the East Coast. So you guys can come out, join me on the Zoom. And the easy way to do it is exactly what it is. Go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. On the front page there, you scroll down just a little bit, you'll see it say Zoom link here or whatever. And you guys can hit that Zoom link and be a part of that. So definitely would like to see you out there tomorrow, or see you on the Zoom link tomorrow. I'd love to see your faces and for you to be able to come out and learn more. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do a share screen real quick since you said it, Aaron. And for those, because I'm really trying to get people out there. So you just could come out to hear what I have to say and about this Zoom program, this ambassador program. So if you guys want to be a part of it, you can. So let me go ahead and get you off for a second, Aaron. And what I was saying is, you guys, all you do is scroll down here on this page, come down, and right here, it's right here, right up under this, the front part here, it's right here. It's a volunteer search for Geologist Daniel Robinson. But it's right here. It says Zoom meet, and right here it goes around in the circle there, you guys. And all you have to do is click on this Zoom link button here, and it will take you to open up the link, launch your. If you guys have Zoom, and launch your Zoom link. So it's simple as that. Simple as that. And I'll be waiting on you tomorrow, you guys, if you come on in and do that. Also, while I'm here on this Please Help Find Daniel website, you can. Again, like I said, you can volunteer in other ways tab. You click that as well, you guys. And this is the form that come up, and I want you guys to fill that out. If you want to be able to. Let me go ahead and turn this music off. See if I can get it back. Get this off. Let me go back real quick here. But if you guys go back here, I meant to push the wrong one. That was the volunteer to search tab. Volunteer to search in other ways is right here in the center. And when you come back, you can go ahead and fill out this form. And this form is to help us, saying we got the Daniel Robinson Foundation as well as other things, and to help us understand how your skill sets can help. So if you guys can fill out this form, that's really important. If you guys want to be a flyer ambassador, you can do that as well. But one of the big things you'll hear me say in the meeting tomorrow, you can also hit us, please help find Daniel at yahoo.com. And that would definitely, that. But you got the flyers here as well. You guys, the PDF, you guys want to help by printing out your own flyers, that's right here. So the PDF is there as well for the flyers. Again, but thank you so much for that, Aaron, for putting that up there, and for your question. I really appreciate that. And let's see here. If I have any more questions, if not, I'm going ahead and end the Q&A. I'm looking for your questions, guys. Small town PI, thanks so much. If it's a homicide, is there anything that would indicate a motive? From my standpoint, as knowing my son, I don't know any known enemies that Daniel would have. One thing for sure, it's a couple things that were brought to my attention when I first got here to Arizona. Of course, from the Black community, there was some issues with when the Justice Department had to come down into Phoenix, Arizona. As you guys know, there was a big protest with the George Floyd, the Black Lives Matters protest, and so they was having a lot of issues with the police department here, arresting people who was part of the protest, fighting against police brutality. But there's arresting them, calling them gang members. And I think about this gang members, and also giving them these bogus charges. The Justice Department had to come in, get these charges off these people, and there was a lot of retaliation going on. I have stories where, it's a weird part, Black person living in Buckeye, believe it or not, Phoenix police officer coming up there and trying to intimidate, try to get her to come out of the house. And you never know what's going to happen. Next thing you know, you hear gunfire. I was fearing for my life. How cops always say, and they shoot somebody down. So some of those things is was problematic. And one of the things that was given to me at the beginning was maybe some type of retaliation because of the way they were retaliating and get these individuals who was in that protest. My son was part of that protest. I was on the phone with him several times while he was doing this protest. Very proud of him, you guys, holding up his sign against police brutality. Again, like I told you, Daniel's nature is clearly whatever he believes in, he stands up for. He just like that, and that's why he's been raised. You stand up for what's right, and so he stand up. He did an interview with the news when I got here. The news, I think it was Channel 12 News or 1512, made it a point to let me know, hey, your son did an interview with us through that protest, and so so he's been on publicly out there with his face, and some people would make sure it wasn't some type of retaliation or something like that too as well. So I don't know. As in motives, I wouldn't know. Of course, and I have some information there that could suggest a lot of things, but as it stands right here, I wouldn't know of any motives outside of that. My son is not a person who's seem to have, that I know of, have any enemies and things like that. Of what reason he would have any enemies, so just don't know. Motive would be. Aaron Chase, thanks so much for your question. Have you been told to stay out of the desert? No, I have not been literally told. I've been threatened. No, people had threats to give me death threats, but not to stay out of the desert per se. So no, not direct. So to stay out of the desert, no. All right, do have a question here, Aaron Chase again. Are you preventing? Are they preventing you from investigating? I don't think, I would say nobody can prevent me from doing anything. Maybe that's probably, I wouldn't really recognize that, but I can say they're not helping me, and that's preventing me. When I say I need cell phone pings and you come up with excuses why you can't get it, or I say I need, whatever case may be, and you find excuses or I need my son's case moved over to the proper authorities so we can have these answers, like you said, that I'm investigating. Because it's apparent, it's clear that to me this department is actually not trying to find those answers, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah, for me, that's preventing me from getting the answers I need for my son and my family to find out what's going on. Pamela Garrison, thanks so much for your question. Did y'all test the clothing for DNA or size of Daniel's clothing found on the wreck site yet? No, that's what I'm saying. The forensics wise wasn't done on the scene. Forensics wise wasn't done on them clothing. We don't know who the clothes belong to. I don't know that Daniel's clothes. That's all I know is they say a pile of clothes was found in front of bearing my son's wallet and stuff. We don't have no evidence that was Daniel's clothes. We don't recognize the clothes. So a lot of that haven't been done on the scene with the clothes, and also the one thing ironic to that is you guys that got lost, always get lost in the story. As well in my searches, we found all kinds of things. We found human remains. I have two cell phones. That's also part of the electrons that are being tested, being forensically tested right now. Also, there was clothing found in the same manner this clothing was found here on the scene, in a pile, some man's clothing. But I do know those clothing was not my son because the pant size was too large, and these belonged to a pretty nice, large sized guy. So that was found out there in that desert. As well. So, but I know this clothing that's on the scene here. I don't know who it belongs to. It need to be tested to make sure it's my son's clothing. I just don't go by what people say. You need to show me some proof or evidence, especially when we don't recognize clothes ourselves. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Unlimited Dirt. Thanks so much. God bless you again. Thank you guys. I really appreciate that for you guys doing that. And helping much of you guys can with my efforts with Daniel. But I did run out of questions, you guys, and I really thank you. Excuse me, for your time. Thank you, Tatia, for putting this information out as well. Please continue to share Daniel's story. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. God bless you guys, and I'll see you on the next Q&A. I'm really working really hard out here. I want you guys to continue to pray for me and my family. Pray for Daniel, get these answers. I'm really working hard. You guys should always know that. I'm doing everything I can humanistically possible. I'm also trying to help other families, so you guys can support. Watch out for the Daniel Robinson Foundation as well as the events that we'll be having as well. Like I said, the protests that we've coming up, the searches that we've coming up, and also don't forget about the Million Father March that I'll be doing at the beginning of the year. So things like that. So there'll be a whole lot of things happening. I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate it. Take care of yourself and have a good night. Thank you.